I'm trying to understand. I obviously look at opposing viewpoints. I don't call people haters. I call them people with different viewers. If they don't like my content, uh, that's that's for them to decide. They have complete right to not agree with my opinion. That's what I'm gonna say over the start of this video before I go any further. I hate Baron Corbin. I think he sucks. See, this guy is this cancer patient, target manager, weirdo, casual bodied, black wife beater. I'm freaking. I don't know. He's wearing those little no sleeve DMX wife beaters that used to be sold on the market. That look like you pistol whip your freaking. It's like you beat up on your wife with freaking root beer for an excuse. Corbin sucks. I've looked up most of his career. There's no draw factor. There's no character factor. There's no likability factor. There's no heel factor. You're gonna say, oh, people were debating if he was getting heel go away heat. There's a difference between me saying, boo, I hope you get your ass kicked, to being, oh god, I need to change the channel. I don't want to watch. This guy's annoying. Like, that's the difference. Tell me any notable feud that actually made sure, okay, Corbin looks like a star. And people are gonna just rough shot some BS stuff that they had from NXT, like that's prevalent to actually being shown on television where millions more people are watching. He had crappy feuds with Dean Ambrose for the IC title. He kept feuding over with Orton. I didn't even know how he won the United States title. He's a Money in the Bank winner, and he gets screwed over by John Cena when cashing in over Jinder Mahal in an easy effort. This guy had the worst reactions coming from me when he was the freaking GM, dressing so casual, and he kept wrestling in just a dress shirt and pants. And he got Universal title. This guy retired Kurt Angle. The final match that Kurt Angle had in his career in WWE was at WrestleMania against not John Cena, the guy who had the conversation of ruthless aggression in an era that was defined by him and many other guys that we know and still watch to this day. Not Brock Lesnar, the guy that he had a WrestleMania hell of a feud. Like, if you haven't seen a match in '03 involving Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, please watch them on Peacock, or if you still have the network still as a subscription, or somewhere on YouTube. Please watch them. They were great matches. Anybody else, we wouldn't complain. And Kurt probably was doing this to possibly get him over. I get it. The guy's acting charitable in his final match of his career, but I think that's super charitable in the semblance of there's no factor or potential for King Corbin. He won the King of the Ring back in 2019, and he's still with this King gimmick in 2019, and he's barely revolved around the show. He wins King of the Ring, and he's still part of the mid-card over in a brand split. Now, if King Barrett was in the semblance of the brand split, at least he can talk. At least he has he has a certain amount of charisma. The I got a bad news for you thing was actually over, and he actually had cool moves. And he actually was built like a wrestler. Now he's over wasting his life on NXT commentary. He's like, oh, another Tope Suicida. Another Canadian destroyer. And people kept giving me over the, okay, because you're built like a manager at Starbucks and probably date some golf chick that's a manager over in Hot Topic means you're a top guy. I don't understand. King Corbin sucks to me. I wish I had more positives to say about this dude. Well, the probability factor is that, okay, he has a cool finisher. The End of the Day sounds cool. He had 2 decent theme songs. Pretty decent theme songs. I am the darkness, I am the thunder, I am the thunder. And it's like the dun 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 dun. Oh god, it's just garbage. I don't remember a feud. You're supposed to make me remember, or at least a segment. Tell me, Elias, I can remember when he played literally all instruments back at Mania 35 and had Thugonomics Cena come back and roast him. That segment over that he had with Kevin Owens when he was getting massive crowd heat for just a generic thing to get heat, like a sports reference. At least what was it, Symphony of Pain or Symphony of Destruction match he had with Jeff Hardy? At least there were some cool spots in it. Elias can do stuff that most guys can't do anymore, and people complain that, oh, Chad Gable wouldn't have won the King of the Ring tournament anyway back in 2019. While we had like Samoa Joe that could have used it, because at least he's a threatening talker. The guy had some good matches over with Brock Lesnar. He's still an average talker as much people give him credit because he looks like a fat sausage. But the guy can still look like he kick ass. I remember back in 2017 when he actually was relevant on the main roster, because now the guy's on commentary looking like he has a quintuple chin on commentary. But other than that, I remember his matches over with Roman Reigns, disrespecting him after he lost to Lesnar back in Mania 34. He comes around having some a great match at Great Balls of Fire with Lesnar, and then he had some cool highlights back when he was in that 4-way at SummerSlam. And that little storyline the next year he had with AJ Styles, putting so many personal matters up the way. Like Samoa Joe, he can do stuff that can get people over. And he has cool moves. And he's at least a compelling talker. Like, I know I'm gonna beat you because I'm the king. You don't speak like that. I'm trying to understand, like, what's the semblance, because you usually need a character to push it off, or a semblance of an entertainment factor. Like, King Booker made it work, because Booker can overact, he acts animated, he's fun to watch. Hell, bro, even on commentary, as much as people say, like, oh my god, Booker T was funny. You can't take that away from Booker T. Whenever it comes to entertainment factor, he makes shit turn into gold. Look at his stuff on commentary when he has to deal with Michael Cole and Tom Phillips and Corey Graves. Shucky Ducky Quack Quack was freaking over. It was funny. Don't need no meat, no water, no bread, just meat. The stuff like that was actually entertaining, and I'm trying to understand why. Like, WWE would be perfectly fine if they didn't have Baron Corbin on the roster. It's so interchangeable over the standpoint of this brand split. I don't understand what they would need Corbin for. We already have oversized dudes that do limited amount of, like, you don't need to do like 100 moves to get yourself over. But if you do very little moves and you barely win anyway, what's the point? People talk crap about Kevin Nash not having the most work rate. He had 11 moves. Okay, at least it looked threatening. The guy's a former world champion. He has charisma. He looks tall. The guy looks good, and he had a cool factor about him. Like, who doesn't want to be Kevin Nash? You're 7 foot, dropping dudes on their back with a freaking power bomb. That is scary. You're telling me, and people want to talk about, oh, okay, Corbin. Oh God, there's no beneficiary over to be King Corbin, Braun Strowman. These guys are big for nothing, and they come around always going to be over in mid-card purgatory because they have no factor of being a top guy. They have no definable look. They have this big, skinny, fat factor into them, and the only reason I guess Strowman has it is because he's a strong man. Okay, I'll give him factor over a strong man. King Corbin. What is Corbin? A Golden Glove? They never tell me the guys he beat. If you're a Golden Glove winner, like it's supposedly a huge achievement for a pro boxer, I'm thinking. And they never tell me the guys he beat, if he won a championship, because they have championship belts in boxing. What's his record? He's a Money in the Bank winner. He's a Money in the Bank winner. Yeah, he still fails to be fails to win a belt. He only won the U.S. title, but barely anybody can remember who he beat for it. And he comes around having, like, the weakest feuds. Like, the most that actually gave him a bit of attention was technically his feud he had with Roman Reigns early January of last year, involving freaking dog food. Dog food, dude. They were doing a back and forth storyline involving a dog food match. They literally put this over for 2 pay-per-views. And still Corbin didn't even look the least amount of threatening. They couldn't make him threatening involving a feud involving Mysterio or Murphy. The guy has no definable trait to actually have any cool factor. And he's just so casual looking with his crappy tattoos. Crappy little star tattoos over in his chest. Looking like Mr. Kennedy put it for him or Cody did his tattoos back in college. And the best fit for him is to wear that goddamn beanie to cover up that bald ass head. Thinks you look like the goddamn principal from goddamn Danny Phantom. Oh man, I'm trying, man. I want to feel more prevalent, but if we're still having main events consistent, primarily over the calendar year, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, possibly Rey Mysterio, and Edge, they show that you are like the least content to be a main eventer on Raw. You are like the bottom of the barrel. That's why they needed Lacey Evans to be with you when you were feuding with Seth Rollins for the Universal Champion, because they know you can't draw. Corbin sucks. I'm trying to like be more patient and be more accepted over the current situation that we have. But if we're subjugating over our relevance factor, yes, TV ratings matter, but if we're not doing much over the relevance factor, we're not getting that searched. Not much people are subscribing over to the network as we should have. And Vince McMahon is having this prize project of a freaking streaming service strictly over his network with a ass load of a wrestling library, and it gets bought over by Peacock. Why do you think that is? Because it's guys like that that's not producing as much revenue as WWE should be having at this point of time. He sucks. God, bro. I don't remember a feud he had. They even made an excuse for him to just feud with John Cena. And I think he still lost. Corbin came with this crappy widow's peak with his constant wet hair, and he keeps wearing, with his freaking muffin top, crappy little nose sleeve, and then he comes around just wearing a dress shirt, rolled up sleeve garbage, because he has to hide his body because he knows it's terrible. He never looked in shape. Braun Strowman at least shows up in shape. Like I think 2019, I saw the dude like tear off over his shirt. Looks like he has a bit of abs. At least he looks like he lifts. He can possibly kill somebody. As much as I give Strowman credit, at least Strowman looks like, okay, I don't want to mess with this guy in a real fight. He'll possibly give me critical injuries. Corbin just looks like he's just there to defend his 5 out of 10 girlfriend. Holy crap! And there was a top 10 awesome. Like, it's their opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad or a good opinion. It's their opinion. It's their viewpoint. They're saying if they were running WWE, that is the guy that they would keep over guys like Elias, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Rey Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Mandy Rose, Bobby Roode. Oh God, I think they're the Technical Work Rate Productions. I still subscribe to, and I love your opinions. But by God, I thought that was like one of, and it was only a year ago, so I don't know how they feel about. They possibly feel a bit differently about Corbin at this point in time, because I think that was before the pandemic that video came out. But oh my God, the guy is a bona fide mid-carder. There's no possibility that this guy has any elevated star factor to be in the main event. If it wasn't for the brand split, it's the only excuse that he has to be main eventing SmackDown. If we are without a brand split, then I think WWE should go back to no brand split, because they're subjugated over to just over remnants of too many mid-carders with not a lot of star power or character, just forcing their way over to the card, and they have nothing to produce an interesting storyline with, and they have to do the same repeat matches. Corbin is one of the issues. But that's technically my opinion on the matter. I don't like burying guys like this. Look at Apollo Crews. I could have had a sucks video for him, but the guy actually now has a character. He's trying to produce well, and at least he looks fit. He came around just being this basic little flippy Bobby Lashley Negro, coming around doing the same 7 moves, no character, no charisma, just this weirdo smiley face. He's just a buffer Shelton Benjamin. And now he's coming around over a character. He's not doing any flips. He's trying to conduct heat, and he's actually trying to show more of a legitimacy over with his character. And I wish more stars do this so we actually can get more behind them. But WWE doesn't want to make them over the top anymore, creative, or at least have some semblance of a mythos to their character. They just want to make sure they're happy to be there wrestling with no semblance of a charisma, charm, or look, or character. And Corbin is one of those. But that's all I have for the video. If you guys like it, please comment down in the comment section below. Also, I want to give it's a bit of a late one, but oh my goodness, thank you for 40 subs. I'm grateful. I know it's obviously not going to get me monetization. It's not going to get me a lot of but it's a start. It's a slow one, but it's getting to the right direction. And I'm even young or old viewers, please, I'm grateful at any chance, even like 50 subs. I'm just great that I'm having my videos out there and many people are viewing them, and I'm happy that you are enjoying them yourselves. You take it like I don't read the comment section. I love, even if people disagree with me, always grateful that people want to actually have their voices heard, and I will read them because it actually helps me try to improve my videos. Thanks for watching. That's it for me.